Good day, loves.
Okay,
This is exciting. We are live.
we got a new setup.
We have a new setup. Yeah.
Our
I
daughter
probably don't
Omi's
need
up.
these anymore. Yeah. You know, parent vibes.
Yeah,
And it's the early day. Hey, sweetie. So,
the early day in the morning.
yes.
Welcome back to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. Today we are on episode 63. Mindful Black Queen, what's going on?
Good day, love.
Episode 63, it is falling on Fuel Day. Fuel is the third of five of our holistic freedom regimen, if you will. Just kidding. It's our holistic healing system. And it consists of the concepts be, cleanse, fuel, move, and shine. Today's Wednesday, so it's Fuel Day, and we're going to get into the topic of breaking your fasts properly. So, fasting is an incredible healing modality and home remedy to various ailments and illnesses and speeding up recovery for different things. Lessening the effects of inflammatory foods. All of these things are positively affected by fasting, but something that can shock the body sometimes is if you don't break the fast properly. Can you go to sleep? Can you just
We love you so much.
yawn a couple times and then go to sleep? I love you too.
Yeah, I see you are sleepy. Yes,
okay.
You are. Yeah. So this is the whole point of why we talk about this and why we have this podcast is to give simple tools for real life as working parents, working moms.
I'll take off because this is crazy.
What? Okay.
Well, this is your topic. I mean,
yeah. But it's great when it's too early. You don't have to. Let me just adjust. Okay. I was like, oh, we're gonna have an episode all together. No interruption. It's gonna be perfect in every way.
Except, it's not.
It's not. That's okay. Well, all right, loves. So let's have a discussion, right? Let's talk. So if you have ever been frustrated about that experience where you go on this cleanse and then your first meal, if you were like me with my first cleanse and you have ended up eating a whole half a loaf of bread, that good bread, that fluffy, that white bread in your car, or had some cookie or just broke the fast with like this ravenous hunger that just overtook your body as soon as you had that first bite. And if you're also like me, then maybe this time or your next time, you don't want to put your digestive system into shock because that can happen. And maybe you also want to actually absorb the nutrients that you take in, right? So this whole way of nourishing your body after you have done a cleanse or a fast, whether it's a juice fast, intermittent fasting, whether you're trying to reset your gut and you did a 24-hour fast, or you're trying to get all of the fat from around your liver, your internal organs, your midsection, whatever, wherever it is, and you're doing a 36-hour fast, or you're trying to reset your mental health and your dopamine receptors and serotonin and all these big words that mean those feel-good hormones and natural chemicals that your body makes in your brain, then you would do 48-hour fast. Whatever your fast is, we are going to get into some things that will allow for you to just really experience healthy eating with a healthy relationship, instead of like, if you were like me, it would be like a binge, and then okay, let me get right, have my smoothies again. Kind of pattern on and off, yo-yoing back and forth, have it going so well for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe even a month, y'all. And then right on back to, the my favorite chips, or oh, I had that pizza, or whatever it is. So here's a way to really focus on the things that will help, that will actually help you, okay? And that will help you long term. So this is about the science. Let's first talk about a little bit about the science behind breaking a fast. So whenever you fast, right, your metabolism, your goal is to kind of reset your metabolism. And that just really means that reset that part of your body that's like, I'm breaking down this food. I'm breaking down this food and I'ma absorb all the nutrients into the cells of the body. Yeah. You want to do that. And when your metabolism has slowed down from foods that are just harder to break down for your body, like the processed foods, like the inflammatory fats, or bad fats like vegetable oil, canola oil, partially hydrogenized oils, like in your every margarine, every plant-based butter that I've seen, except maybe one. Or when once you've deep fried oils like coconut oil, or uh, olive oil, or whatever like that, when you bring those above certain temperature, whatever, all of the things that can cause inflammation, table salt, table sugar, all of the processed things that are heavily processed, like white flours, white rice, yada yada, the list goes on. They keep adding chemical additives and artificial sweeteners into the ingredients, and the agencies say it's cool, but they cause inflammation. All this slows down our body's ability to actually absorb the goodness. It all just slows it on down. Good day, love. Good day. Welcome in to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. If you are watching, take a moment to um, put down a comment. Let me know. Today's podcast topic for this episode is all about how to nourish yourself when you break a cleanse or a fast. And this is including when you first, wake up and you have that first meal of your day. Maybe it's not when you first wake up, but when you have your first meal of your day, why is it so important to make sure that you're breaking that fast with something that is nourishing? It's because your there are a few times in the day when your blood sugar is just going to spike, and there's a hormonal hierarchy. So for everyone, whether you're a man or a woman, or if you want to identify however you want to identify, this ain't about that. This ain't about you in that way, okay? This is about really honing into what your body needs at any given time. There's a hormonal hierarchy that starts with oxytocin, which is kind of like that love and bonding hormone that makes you feel like, oh, I feel connected. There's that meaningful connection with myself and with others, whether it's through meditation, or it's through hugs, or meaningful conversations, or laughter, whatever it is. Oxytocin regulates everything below it. Right up under that, cortisol is like the bully in the crew. He's like not always the bully, because cortisol also gets activated when you are exercising, when you need to run away, when you need to fight, when you're practicing martial arts. You gotta activate the cortisol. But it takes all of your most of your blood from away from your core internal organs in your torso, and pushes it out into your extremities, into your arms and your legs. Extremities is kind of like your arms. It's your arms and legs. Hands and feet. And it allows for you to like get away, to get into fight or flight if you need to. So the downside of it is that when it gets too high, when we are chronically stressed out from our jobs, from the kids, from the spontaneous needing to shift gears because life just threw a curveball and you don't know what's going to happen. All of that compounds together, building up cortisol to the point that it gets out of balance because there's so much, and it causes the rest of the hormones to get out of alignment. Next up would be insulin. Insulin gets regulated in your pancreas on the right side of your body, and the when insulin gets out of whack because cortisol throws off insulin, right? Then your blood sugar spikes. Then people, when that happens too often, you become, you get this diagnosis of pre-diabetic, and it's just when your blood sugar keeps spiking. And when you first have that first meal, it's so important because your blood sugar will spike kind of like the most, and the longer it takes for it to come on back to homeostasis, to come on back to kind of like balance, homeostasis kind of like balance, come on back to that balance, honey, then that means it's your cells been like, oh goodness, child, why I got all this glucose, because insulin's trying to regulate glucose, which is kind of like the sugars things. Okay, I got all this, everything broke down into sugar in here, and it's so much in the cell, I can't take no more. Insulin help, and insulin's like, oh my gosh, we need to do more things, and it's trying to like manage all the stuff and help your body regulate the amount of glucose that's in your blood, and that blood goes everywhere to the point that it's like, it it begins to malfunction, like when you try to do too much and then you realize you can't do all the things, kind of like that. So we need to bring insulin back into flow. We can do that by helping to bring cortisol back into flow. We can do that by helping to bring our connection, bonding, and things back into flow. And we can also do that through fasting. But in order to really continue this big picture, we have oxytocin, that love and bonding type ting. We have the cortisol, like the stress hormone, good stress and bad stress. And then we have insulin right up under that, which is related to your blood sugar, that glucose. Okay. And then up under that, we have our sex hormones. So that's estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone as the main ones. And there's more, but those are the main ones, right? So the first meal is crucial because it helps the body readjust or not. So for the first meal, some of the things that we have to watch out for is stuff that's going to just spike our blood sugar. So that's why going straight to the pancakes is not the way to go. Going you in order to really even out the blood sugar, there's a few things, maybe like three things, that will help you. The first one is protein. Okay. Well, I'll say that's the second one. The first one is good fats. So that your extra virgin coconut oil, still raw, right? Extra virgin just mean it's raw, honey. Just mean it's raw, not honey, but like what you pour, but it's raw. Okay. So the extra virgin coconut oil or avocados or avocado oil, even if you add these into smoothies, also your seeds and nuts and tings. Okay, these are all the good fats that will help to even out blood sugar because it kind of like just coats the little food in your body as it's being broken down. So the salt, I mean the sugar, aka the glucose, we was going to nickname glucose or sugar, gets basically absorbed more slowly into your body, so it doesn't cause this spike, which leads to pre-diabetes and whatnot, and all of the, even dementia, and all the basically almost every chronic illness is connected to our body's inability to stay in balance with how much glucose is in the cell, how much glucose is outside of the cell in the bloodstream, and how that's affecting everything else. Okay. Yeah. So for our purposes, 3 ways in order to get So we'll call this the 3-step framework to not spike your blood sugar. First thing. So the first, okay, 5-step framework. Okay, 5-step framework. First thing is you got to make sure that your first meal is solid. Okay, first meal that you're breaking your fast with. So you just woke up. That means you breaking the fast because you wasn't eating for however long time you was asleep. Okay, everyone fasts. Period. So first meal is crucial. So you got to make sure that your meal has the other components. So watching out to make sure that this first meal is crucial. So step 2 would be what would be in that meal, right? So we need to kind of consider that we need good fats. So adding in the good fats into the meal. The second thing would be to focus on some healthy sources of protein. So there's a book that talks about how whenever we have those protein powders that say whey protein, even hemp protein, even pea protein, if it's a protein next to whatever that ingredient is, that means it is something called an excitotoxin, which is kind of like when the brain cells, this is a picture of the brain in the background, when the brain cells get so excited to the point that they're like, oh my god, this is like the best taste in the world, oh my gosh, and then they like die. So we don't want to kill our brain cells, okay? We don't want to kill our eye cells either, because that also happens with these things and they get snuck into everything nowadays. So don't get the protein powder if you can help it. Instead, get the actual whole nuts and seeds. So, to get your protein, or lentils or chickpeas. Okay. So, complete protein is in a few things. And, just for basics, there's a whole list of plant-based things that are complete protein. You can get it from like your um, regenerative meats that are organic and super high quality and probably super expensive too. Or you can get some chia seeds in bulk, or you can get some hemp seeds in bulk, or you can get some lentils in bulk. But first meal of the day, whether it's a brunch vibe, a savory vibe that's like all the spices and things, or it's a sweet vibe, just making sure that you're keeping the blood sugar low with either good fats, or the second step would be having a good protein. The third step would be like fiber. Okay, so that would be your fruits, your veggies, not already processed. Okay, so eating the whole thing, experiencing all of that in your mouth. And especially if it's a longer fast, you need to make sure that your meal has these 3 things and another. So there also needs to be some sort of probiotic component. Probiotic just basically means that because our immune systems are made up of um, like 80% of our immune system is dependent on uh, this group or crew of good bacteria, good fungi, and good microorganisms basically in the body, all throughout the body, in the gut, in the brain, in the mouth, in all throughout the body, maybe even the uterus. So I don't know. But when we eat stuff to feed that, which is like your fermented foods like apple cider vinegar, yogurt, like the and when I'm talking about yogurt, I mean high quality, because it's going to be dairy, right? So if it's raw, great. If it's, yeah, high quality. Anyway, um, things that are fermented. So think about kimchi, sauerkraut, pickled veggies that y'all pickled yourself. You don't have no inflammatory ingredients in it. You feel me? Yeah. So these are the things that will allow for your body to rebuild your gut and not attack and like stab away at your gut lining from the inside on a really, like, if you zoomed in on a microscope, it's kind of like what you see. So when we're breaking a fast, before we even eat anything, of course, it's important to hydrate first. And if you can hydrate with some sort of electrolyte, some sort of thing that has something that will help prepare the immune system, whether it's coconut water and sea moss gel in like a little smoothie. That's something that's pretty great and easy on the digestive system. If you made a smoothie with like coconut water, you put in like a tablespoon of sea moss gel. Bow. You add in some berries. You add in some not apple. You add in some leafy greens. Maybe you put in some cinnamon for that anti-inflammatory vibe. Maybe you put in some hemp seeds for the protein. Maybe or chia seeds. And maybe you have an avocado, half an avocado, a quarter of an avocado in there, depending on how much you're making at a given time. In there too for your good fats. And then you're hitting all of the things so that your body will be very pleased with you. Your body would be so pleased with you. And if you would like a little sweetness, you can put in a date, okay? Or you can put in a banana if you really want to, okay? So this is an easy way to really get the fiber, get the minerals and the collagen that all comes from the sea moss, right? And get the hydrating effects and electrolytes from, say, a coconut water or something like that. And you're getting the good fats and the proteins. And the carbs are also like the leafy greens and the fruits as well. And it's low glycemic fruit, so we're not you don't have to worry about it spiking up your sugars, okay? Not at all. So these are really good ways to be easy on your body. So as you transition in, your body's gonna feel some satisfaction from the good fats and the proteins because it does that all day, every day. And it's also going to feel like you don't have to binge eat and feel ravenous like you have to claw at the next where that burger cook is. You don't have to do all that. And that makes it easier for you to stick to the health journey so that you can see that goal in mind. You can see yourself reversing the chronic autoimmune condition or the chronic illness, the pain, or whatever it was that got you to this point. For me, I experienced anemia, I experienced eczema, I experienced feeling like crazy brain fog. And I noticed this connection between how many good fats I'm eating in a certain part of my cycle and how it will affect the things that I was feeling in my body, like my emotions and my mental states would be clearer when I would apply these principles that I'm telling you today, right now. So the first meal a day, if you don't hone in on any other meal as keenly, then this first meal that you break your fast with, whether it's during breakfast hours, lunch hours, or dinner hours, depending on how long your fast was, depending on what you was trying to heal, right? Yeah. Come from the Thrive Zone and consider the things that you love. The Thrive Zone is basically where we bring together what we love with what we need and what we're ready for. These three worlds: love, need, and ready for, like that fruit on the tree that's ripe that we pick, that we eat, and we're like, oh, it tastes so good. It's like, yes. So that is that should help. So you can break your fast with soups, with salads, with that are piled up with these components, right? And you can break it with smoothies. You can break it with fruits and things. Like maybe you prepared a fruit salad and somehow you got really creative and you put together all the things, or however you do it. It really doesn't completely matter what your vibe is, as long as you're hitting these needs and you're doing it from a space of I would love to experience that. Then it becomes sustainable and you can keep at it. That's what it's all about. It's about not just being healthy. It's not just about getting the result, it's also about enjoying the process along the way, and it's also about really having it be something that you could see yourself doing down the line and it's still fulfilling. So that requires some variety, that requires some tapping into what you really want, right? So that is my tip for today of how to break your fast. Of course, ease back into foods. Whenever you have a fast, you got to always tend to that first meal first, right? And then from there, you can add in more veggies. You can add in your grains. Hey, sweetie. She's crawling over there. I love it. You can add in other foods after you've gotten this first meal in, right? Um, yeah. So have an amazing rest of your day. And before you go, take a moment, drop down in the comments one key takeaway so that everyone else that sees the comments can also take away something helpful for them, so that you can take your reflection and then share, and that becomes a learning moment for someone else. That becomes a moment where someone else can connect and get that oxytocin, that love, and that bonding hormone popping for them to help regulate all the other things. And it also helps us to know what exactly you resonated with, what you'd like to see more of, any questions that you may have had, or hey, homie's right there, or all the other things. I'm going to see you next time for tomorrow's episode. On Thursdays, we get into a move day, which is all about moving the body, taking action, applying the things that we know to be true, whether it's moving the body physically through exercise, or breath work, getting that circulation in, or setting up our lives in some other way, so that we are taking action in towards that vision of holistic freedom that we really resonate within our hearts. That's what it's all about. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications for this, so that you can get notified whenever we go live again. And yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you on Thursday. Take care. Peace, loves. Peace, YouTube. See you next time. And peace.